Resilience is the type of item that sounds really good when you get it for the first time, but when you actually try and use it, you realize that it's actually pretty bad. On paper, it sounds like free money, which it kinda is, but not really in a productive way. What if we tried to build an entire run around it? Maybe then it could actually prove to be useful. But before we do that, let's fully understand how it works. Resilience works by planting a crop on crust adjacent to a planted crop every time it has a charge. If there is no crust adjacent to any crop, it will hold on to the charge until it can plant something. It can hold up to a max of 2 charges and gains a new charge every 30 in-game seconds, so it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so let's try building a run around the concept of planting as little as possible and letting the spreading do all of the planting work for us. Seeds are usually one of the limiting factors in a good run, so maybe it will prove to be actually good. The main idea here will be crafting the perfectly shaped field so that the crops that we plant will be able to spread, but will not be able to become mega crops themselves. This might not be perfectly optimal, but I was thinking something like this. Since we need our field to be a specific shape, we won't be able to take pigs or marry everyone's favorite spouse, borage. Not being able to marry borage is almost enough for me to say that this run is entirely doomed, but let's try pushing on. Alright, we got everything set up. Now let's watch the cash flow in. Okay, wow. 30 seconds for one crop to be planted is kind of a long time. Also, there's so many potential spots for the crops to be spread that we'll be lucky if we even get a single mega crop by the end of the entire run. Let's do a bit of math and try reorganizing the field. If we know approximately how many crops will spread in a single day, then we can make our field such that there are only that number of possible places for our crops to spread to. So, time for some light math. For simplicity's sake, let's assume that we have all ant upgrades, are not playing as time, and have no time increasing items. Also, night waves can have between 3 and 5 waves being 26 seconds each, so there's going to be a little variability between each day. That leaves us with 14 seconds of dawn at the start of the day, 2 minutes and 11 seconds of daytime, 19 seconds of dusk, 78 to 130 seconds of night waves, and 10 seconds of dawn at the end of the day. That adds up to somewhere between 252 and 304 seconds of crop spreading per day. That would give us between 8 to 10 crops per day. That's honestly way less than I thought we would get. That means we really only need our plot to have space for 2 to 3 mega crops to grow. So we need it to look something like this. This isn't so bad, right? Wrong. If we wanted to make some extra money by farming regularly, we wouldn't even be able to use any of the plots touching the crust. This seems really expensive to be saving ourselves 10 seeds per day. Using the highest tier seeds, this setup would make us roughly an extra 600 cashews per day, while making a decent portion of our land unusable. I feel like after looking at all of this, we can definitively say that resilience is not the best item ever. At its most harmless, it can give you a couple extra cashews during a run at the cost of a better pupa item. But if you try building an entire run around it, it will probably end up doing you a lot more harm than good. I genuinely feel like if this item were buffed, it would actually be a lot of fun. But the way the game is now, it's pretty much always better to just mindlessly plant down mega crops and go along with your day. If I were to maybe change resilience in some way, I think I would make the rate of spreading scale with the player's farming stat. So maybe at max farming stat it would take something like 10 seconds or even less to spread instead of a whopping 30. I think it would honestly make for some pretty fun and unique runs. It could also be a fun way to combat pigs being the best farm animal to take because they would mess up your plot and make your spreading worse. It could also be kind of fun, but definitely overpowered, to maybe keep the 30-second spread but have it spread stuff like roses and hearts. Let's actually give that a try. Okay, yeah, it's completely overpowered.